and giving my draft essay to be reviewed by my friends. And I also know someone from the previous cohort that got the scholarship, so it really helps. But yeah, in terms of time management, yeah, I try to manage it and work during the weekend, but the preparation itself came a long way before that, so I think that's also helps.
Okay, I can see that it's not easy, especially like when we have our job side of this preparation. How about Dr. Sue? Like how do you manage your time, and like was that your first scholarship or subsequent?
Yes, thank you for the question. So, to be honest, for like academic scholarship, obtaining the degree program, this is my first scholarship. And I've been trying to apply for the master degree scholarship since 2020, and I have already registered for the ISS, which is the basic requirement. But unfortunately, my test has been postponed for multiple reasons, like the COVID-19, and after that, our country's political situation. So I couldn't sit for the IS till the 2022 January. And then I suddenly got the chance to sit the IS test. And then after that, I apply for this scholarship because this is a very new scholarship, because previously we only have the CHEVENING Australian awards and other like Fulbright, but there are a lot of people who don't know about this scholarship. And also for the Myanmar people, I think this year, last year, 2022 was the first cohort of Myanmar participants. So I think I was also like lucky enough, as well as because I have already prepared myself to apply for the scholarship soon after I get the IS test result and I apply. So I think it took for me for the preparation around like 2.5 months to apply for this scholarship. After the IS test, I look for the university, and a lot need to apply for the admission and then for the scholarship. Yes, so around 2.5 months.
So it's like the test first, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I see. How about Dr. Raiyeesha? Since CHEVENING, as far as I know, they have like steps to apply.
Yeah, correct. You're right. It's a bit organized. I think as long as you know what to do first, and continue the others later, I think you are quite set lah. But one thing about CHEVENING, they always open up their application on 7th of August, and it usually closes early November. But this year, somehow they opened it 1 month later. So I'm not sure why, but the usual timeline is from August up to November. So you have about August, September, October, November. So almost like 3 to 4 months lah for preparation. So there's like 4, yeah. The thing is, there are 4 essays which you have to really prep. I think that's the one that will get you like a confirmation for an interview. So you really have to sell yourself through that essay. My preparation, okay, the thing is, I thought I could really ace it because they were asking about leadership questions, basically. It's like to prove your leadership capability, and then your networking capability, your career choice, as well as, I'm not sure what was the other one.
Study in UK.
Yeah, studying in UK. Oh, you know, very good.
Oops.
Are you planning to apply?
Oh, hopefully. Wish me luck.
Oh, yeah, all the best, all the best.
Thank you.
So I thought, basically I thought doctors were like natural leaders, so it's fine for me to just put in whatever I do, and you know, I'll get it. But then the thing is, I think CHEVENING is rather competitive, and it's really important to actually to sit down and really reflect how much of your leadership capability have been impactful to the society. You can be a leader in a lot of things, yes, but I think it has to have a certain degree of impact to show. And secondly, to also show why the UK's investment is worthwhile on you, and how can you like foster a bilateral relationship.
But how did you manage your time in the process of your applying to CHEVENING?
Oh, okay. All right. So basically I focused on those 4 essays first. I think I did it like within the first 2 months. And then right after the essays, make sure that you actually get it reviewed by previous cohort, because I only got in my 3rd time. The first time I
Okay.
did not. Yeah. The second time I got it. I got through. I got up to the interview stage, but I did not go through the interview. The third time I made sure I I actually consulted some previous cohorts and let them go through first my essay, and then finally I got both. So I think no matter how good your English is, or no matter how good you present yourself, it's always good to get it proofread by the previous cohort at least. And in Malaysia, we actually have a CHEVENING community where we help people to actually review their essays and everything. So in that sense, I think CHEVENING support in Malaysia is quite good. I'm sure it is in other places as well, but I'm not very sure what. Yeah. So after the essays, make sure you send in the essays as soon as possible. But then even though I was already preparing for the essay way earlier, I was making sure I was proofreading and all. I only sent it the last minute. It's like right on the dot.
That's a very powerful advice for all of the CHEVENING applicants out there. Let's go for it. And maybe last we can hear from Shin. How's your time management, especially how's the Fulbright process? Does it have steps like CHEVENING, or like one way, like how's the process?
Yeah, the process starts, if I'm not wrong, in April and May. It's in Myanmar, but it's very different between the countries, because I know in Cambodia it takes more long time than Myanmar, but I don't know about other countries, because Fulbright process are very different between the countries. So in Myanmar it starts in April. It opens in April and closes in, I think, May 30th, so 2 months time. My preparation is I start writing essays as soon as the application opens. So I have like enough time for 2 months, and then how do I like prepare is that I keep thinking, when I sleep, when I eat, the points I have to like make to be strong, and then when I get the idea, I just write it in the essay. I think it's the best for everyone, and if you keep thinking, you get good points and how to make a like strong point, and then like in the middle of 2 months, so at the end of like April, if I think I'm ready, I keep editing, and then I have one dear friend in the United States, and I asked my friend his help in like proofreading and helping in my essays, and he like give me advices, he helped me in my essays, and then when I think that it's ready, I ask advice from Fulbright alumni to proofread my essay, and they said it's good. So I also submitted at the last minute, not at the very last minute, like 2 days prior to the due date. Yes, so my time management is at the time it's in 2022 21 April. So it's in the middle of the civil war, at the start of the war, and I just got my projects with the UN stopped, so I have plenty of time to prepare for the essay. And then like in July and they started calling for interviews, and I went for the interview. In the interview, it's pretty intensive because I'm from the political science, and then in the US Embassy, they call someone who has a similar background, political justice, and like one panelist asked like my future plans with the scholarship, and then one panelist ask like my work experiences, like that, my behavior, past behaviors, like that. And then that panelist from the political background, he's also a Fulbright. He asked me questions, like technical questions. How do you implement these things? How do you implement your projects? Like that is really difficult. I thought I didn't make it, but like in July, August, and the result came, and I passed. It was the first time, so I didn't have much expectation from it, but I tried the first time, and I got it, so I'm really happy with the result. And then so the difference between the Fulbright and CHEVENING Australia will be TOEFL. We have to take TOEFL test after the interview, after we passed Fulbright. So they pay for everything. So before, in my undergraduates, I always prepare for like only IELTS, like for 4 years, and I thought I wanted to go to the UK with the CHEVENING, or Australia, like that, and I didn't think I will apply Fulbright, but so Fulbright, and that the test is in October, so I only have like 2 months, and I have to like do intensive self preparation in the TOEFL. And so the first time I take the TOEFL test, the mark is pretty low, and then the Fulbright asked me to take the second test again. It is like until you get the satisfied point, they give you they give you money for the test. So every time you take the test is free. For me, with the second test, I got the like high marks. So yeah, so it is the preparation and the step-by-step application process.
Wow, that's quite a long journey for Fulbright application as well. So maybe one quick one, Dr. Sue, being from a STEM background and a recipient of the British Council Scholarship for Women in STEM, can you share any specific qualities or elements that institutions like yours look for in candidates? Especially, what do you think makes your application stand out?
Okay, thank you for the question. And I would like to add a few tips for this British Council Scholarship for Women in STEM. So yeah, the thing is that I think firstly, to be eligible for this scholarship, you have to be a woman, because it's specifically for women, and you have to be coming from the background of STEM, science, technology, education, and medicine. So like this is very a specific scholarship. And also the difference between other types of scholarship is that you have to have like a certain working experience, at least 2 years in the STEM field. And another thing is that you have to hold the unconditional offer before you send out your application, which is a very difficult part for everyone. I think like that is the main thing. So firstly, you have to get the unconditional offer from the university that you would like to study. And also the university is like a limited for different countries. So for the WIS, so let's say like WIS scholarship, like every year, there are different university taking part in this scholarship. So this year and last year, the university are different, and also the subjects different. So you have to firstly look for the university, which university is offering the course you want to study. And then you have to check your eligibility for the admission into that course. And firstly, apply for the admission. And only after you get the admission, you can apply for the scholarship. So it's a bit complicated, and also it's a bit challenging. And you have to be have a certain working background related to your field of study. And the thing is that to my experience, you need to be, whenever you apply for the scholarship, there is the statement of purpose. You have to write that why you want to study this course and what you expected from, like that essay should be aligned with your scholarship essay. Why do you want to study in UK? So most of the applicants that I talked with this year, and like they miss the chance because like they write for the admission statement of purpose in one direction, and for the scholarship they write a lot about the community development, which is not aligned with their statement of purpose in the admission. So I think this is very important. So you need to prepare yourself like for the statement of purpose and the study subject and your scholarship essay should be all aligned. And yeah, you have to choose the course wisely, choose the university wisely, and yeah, based on your background, not just for like whatever the subject you get in. It's very important because they really look for your past experience. Yeah.
Oh, I see. We must have a strong STEM background to explain, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh.
strong STEM background, and you have to have the strong career plan or the project plan out of this study. So this is also similar to other scholarship, I know, but this is more like, I think subject specific and human specific as well, because like specifically to be a woman working in the STEM sector, which is already like limited. So yeah. Thank you.
How about from Shin? What do you think Fulbright take note on, especially in your how do you think that your application stand out? Why?
Yes, so from my background, I don't have like many professional experience, like 2 years, 3 years. I only have one year experience. So
Wow.
my experience is not that, appealing. But I think my essay what my essay standing out is that like, in your essay, if you can show that you have the ability to like do something, like make a difference, the American scholarships look for that, and you can persuade that you have the ability, and you have willingness to make a change, a positive change in your country or in the community. I think you can pass. And in my essay, I find out that how I can make the difference. Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
thank you so much. I think it's also one point that we need to emphasize on, like how we need to be able to explain that the best how to articulate ways how like why our master degree can contribute back to the nation building, for instance. And maybe we can go back to Jessica with Australian Awards. How do you emphasize on that in the nation building? And then maybe you can give one example on your application as well.
Okay. So during my preparation, I allocate most of my time to find out what kinds of scholars that Australia Awards want to seek. So Australia Awards will award the applicants who they think is a potential agent of change or already become an agent of change in their country. So I prepare myself towards that, and it is also very easy because in the website Australia Awards also put a list of traits or qualities that they seek from their applicants. So there are collaboration, teamwork, etc. So I also take a careful look into that and reflect how my experience can show those qualities and show that I can become an agent of change. So I think that's what made my application is being considered than being awarded, because I really take a look first at what they want to seek, and then I reflect on how my working experience is aligned with the qualities that Australia Awards want to see.
How is it like
And
in detail? In detail, how?
yeah, so Australia Awards have 4+1 questions, and on those 2 questions is the regular one, such as why you chose your what is your postgraduate study choices and why you want to study that. And the second one is about how these studies could impact your career, your community, and your country. And the last two is where they would like to see whether the applicant is aligned with their mission of the scholarship. They want to see whether you have an experience of resolving a challenge or a problem during your work. And the fourth one, they would like to know what is your post-study plan. And yeah, in this essay, I carefully think about where I saw resolve a challenge, and this challenge should also related to priority areas of the Australia Awards. So they have 3 priority areas. It's health, stability, and political security. And it also related to the major that we can choose. So they will not give scholarship to all major of studies, but only those who are relevant to their priority issues. And it's also important to make all of your answers with your post-study plan. And I think it's also important that your post-study plan is realistic, and you also put a risk management or plan B. And it's important to also show other than the benefit of your post-study plan to your country, but how it can also benefit the sponsor of your scholarship. So in this case, it's how it will benefit Australia and Indonesia relationship.
I see. That's a really great insight from Jessica. Maybe we can back to the preparation as well as the essay interviews. I want to ask for Dr. Raiyeesha, how in the interview session for CHEVENING, because we know that essay is like 4 points, but then when we got into the interview session, what point should we emphasize on? How do we get their attention, and then how do we explain that we can we are the right recipients, and then we can bring change to our back home country?
Okay. I think the biggest hurdle for CHEVENING is the essays, honestly. So as long as you can get through your essays, the interview is based on the essays. So whatever you have written in your essays, hello?
Yeah. Hello?
No, you're frozen. Okay. Okay, now you're back. So as long as you can rehash what you have written in your essays and make it more concise and more deliverable, I think it's good enough. Most of the questions, how do I put it? It's like, for example, if you said in your leadership quality, you have led a team of 25 women to realize their dream, for example. So they will ask you, how did you do it? What did you exactly do? And how did it affect, what kind, you have to give a measurement, you know? Maybe each of them changed another 25 lives. Or for example, you got an extra budget of 500K to lead a program which you propose to your team or to your stakeholders, for example. So it's basically more about explaining your essays in detail and one thing I know is to speak with enthusiasm and also teach them about your particular niche. For example, mine was about Ayurvedic and also nutrition. I think that's my unique selling point, which most, I think, like, because there are many doctors or many political scientists or teachers, and you have to find your unique selling point and what makes you interesting. So that's why I thought, like, my first, second, and third attempt, the difference was I actually sat down and really thought about what I was passionate about. So when I spoke about that during the interview, it delivered to them with enthusiasm and they bought it wholeheartedly. Because right after my interview, there was one panelist, no, two of them who was really interested, they were like, how are you going to implement nutrition or Ayurvedic into the healthcare system? One of them didn't know what Ayurvedic was, and the other was like, he was like asking, it's really tough to actually go through that barrier. So how are you going to do it? So you can tell your vision to them and sell your vision to them, basically.
I see. Thank you for the insight as well, Dr. Raiyeesha. And maybe I want to ask the all of the panelists. So that's in your chosen institution to that you applied for scholarship. Anything that you see in particular, like how do they distinguish in candidates? I mean, do you agree? Because there are some kind of stereotypes of scholarship. Let's say that CHEVENING is looking for leadership and network, strong background. Meanwhile, like Fulbright has academic related background. And the British Council scholarship more like the STEM, and since like it's specifically on that. And Australia Award scholarship is a government related institution background, has strong, much potential to get in. Like, do you agree on that? Can anyone have a say on this?
Yeah, I can go first.
Okay.
Yeah, so the thing with Australia Awards scholarship is they acknowledge that there are several of us who have more barrier than others, and also related to the government officials, it's related to their, I think it's related to their interests and their close interest with Indonesia. So it's true that Australia Awards have, they call it equity target group. So this target group consists of disadvantaged women. Disadvantaged women, for example, is a woman who faced discrimination, or a woman who is the head of family and is a single mother, and etc. They have the categorization. The second one is people with disability. And the third one is minority groups. This includes sexual minority groups or religious minority groups, or even based on your tribes, etc. And on this equity target group, they also include government officials.
Oh,
I think this, yeah. So it doesn't mean if you're included in this equity target group, you're directly get access to the scholarship. But I think you have an extra point, or it will be easier for you to get invitation for an interview. But in the interview, you will be treated equally the same with applicants who are not in the equity target group. So I think it is easier for government official and disadvantaged women to get an interview, but their performance in the interview and how their scores, I think it's being treated equally with other applicants.
How about Shin? What do you think? Like, do you agree with how Fulbright is mostly accepting those who have strong education or academic background?
I partly agree only because Fulbright looks for like individuals who are not, they they don't actually look at, you know, individuals with high achieving academic background. They only look with individual who has great experience, the first thing. And another thing is how much they have contributed to the society before that they look. So for me, mine is like, you know, I don't have a much professional background, but I have many like community background, leading experiences, and in there I do many projects, and they were successful nationwide. So they look for like, can I say leadership potential, and who can bring like high achieving results. So Fulbright look for students with that rather than like academic background. And there is like 2 questions in the chat. Yes, should I answer one of them or 2?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So the question, the first one is from MYAT. She asks, does the reputation of your undergraduate degree affect? From my point is that it does not affect. So I'm from Mandalay University. Yes, it's good, but there are Fulbright scholars who are from like you know, other universities, and they also got selected. So what's important is that the panelists in the previous session mentioned, you have to write specifically, and you have to write your passion, and if you can show that what you can do with this degree to your to the community back, it will be better. So it does not affect the reputation of your undergraduate university, does not affect your application success. And then another one I cannot answer because I don't change my career so much. So yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Shin. I will now move to the question about maybe we can start with Dr. Su. Maybe can you share the key resources or strategies, especially since the British Council scholarship need to have a test. So how do you prepare on that? And then the next process, how do you what kind of strategy that you can to ask that all the whole process?
Okay. So as I mentioned before, this is like a subject specific, university specific scholarship. Firstly, I have to know myself which area I would like to take the master degree and which area I would like to specialize, so that I can start writing for the application. And the thing is that why I chose this subject and why this university that matters most for this scholarship, because to my understanding, the scholarship is a part of a project from the British government under the British Council. The university fees are coming from the university, and the living allowance are coming from British Council. So it's like you need to like get the agreement from both the university and the British Council. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
So yeah, you need to get the approval from both of the university and the British Council. So first part of the approval to get the approval from the university, that means that you have to meet that admission criteria. So what I have done was that when I chose that subject, MSc in clinical exercise physiology, I follow my passion, why I chose this subject, because I have my clear reason why I want to study this. So that is like I wrote clearly in my essay, because I'm a doctor, I have seen lots of patients in the they suffering from the non-communicable long-term chronic disorder like hypertension, diabetics. So in our country and in Southeast Asia, we have like nutritionists and who can guide them for the diet, but we don't have like someone who is specialized in the clinical exercise. So instead, as a doctor for myself, like when I see the patient coming with the hypertension, I only can say that just do regular exercise. I can't like prescribe them like which exercise in which intensity. That is really sad. And then like when they go to the gym, most of the patients and the different people have different exercise tolerance, and they feel because they can follow the instructors at the gym as normal people, and then like they surrender, and then like they don't do the exercise, and like it's like a repeating in that circle. Even though like they change the nutrition, it somehow extends some very effective, but not everyone can follow the strict restriction for the diet. So I really want to fill that gap. That is how I mentioned in my essay. I think, and also that is a good reason, because in Southeast Asia, we still don't have that clinical exercise specialist. So like, I really want to fill that gap. So that's how I approach my approval to get the approval from the university. That is first part. And the second part to get the approval from the British Council is after I get the admission, I write the scholarship essay, and the same passion. And what I mentioned in my scholarship essay was that I would like to share this kind of knowledge in Southeast Asia. Maybe I can bring back this master degree, and I start up my new initiative like Clinical Exercise Association in the Southeast Asia, and then I can just spread this and advocate about the clinical exercise, that doctors can also be the exercise specialists in the future. So that's how like I try to get their attention. So I think like these are the things that I use the strategy, which is aligned with my admission essay and my future plan, and very much clear to see that what I want to do out of this study. So that's my strategy.
Okay. Thank you very much for the wonderful insight from Dr. Su. So when we are talking about transitioning from postgraduate studies, so I'm curious about the alignment between the academic pursuits and career aspirations. How I want to ask Dr. Raiyeesha, how does pursuing a master's degree align with your envisioned career path? And how is it going now?
You were talking about academic. That do you mean like your early academic years or what? Or can you just rephrase?
All of your academic pursuits to your career pathways right now.
Oh, you mean including the CHEVENING scholarship?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. So basically I did my MBBS first. So I was a practicing doctor for a very long time. But I always wanted to study overseas. So CHEVENING came a long way earlier. Like even in 2016, it was already popping up in my feed, in my websites and everything. So I think that was a calling already. So my mindset preparation was already since then. And then I started to think about what is needed for CHEVENING. So I prepared myself towards that. And I think doing a master's degree in nutrition with CHEVENING is life-changing for me, because one thing, a doctor's career pathway is very conventional. We would always want to do like the usual specialization, like emergency medicine or pediatrics or something like that. But CHEVENING, they give you a chance to actually do something out of the conventional method. So I think it really clicked with me, It's as long as you get to prove why your MSc can actually serve your community, your vision, you can actually get it. So I think it is lining up currently for me, because after doing my master's, I got into the endocrinology department. Before that, I was doing management in management and also traditional complementary medicine, which was not exactly what I wanted. But endocrinology is where we see all the obesity patients, diabetes patients, hypertension, hypercholesterolemia. So my nutrition master's has helped me to actually get into endocrinology department, and also helping out other clinics who are looking for changes in their patients, basically. Because a doctor having a nutrition background and a medical background, I don't think we have many. We usually refer to dietitian, just like Dr. Su. Like she said, they don't have a clinical exercise prescriptionist. So it's something like that. So it is aligning. It's just that in Malaysia, it's quite tough. But then I think with that background, I know the pathway myself and I go towards that pathway. And people also, when you have that title already, they come to you. So I think it is aligning. Chevening was like my stepping stone to my career pathway and to my vision. My vision is basically integrating a wholesome medicine rather than just basing everything on drugs and symptomatic treatment. So we need doctors who are very well versed with nutrition and diet, so that every time patient comes to us, we can give them all these prescriptions rather than just drugs and medicine.
Wow, that's really enlightening experience as well. Thank you for it's really interesting dialogue between the scholarships. Firstly, I want to thank all of the panelists for all of the insightful answers. Now we would like to open floor to our audience. And if you have any question for our panelists, please raise your hand or type them in the chat. Maybe
yeah, maybe we
anyone
can
can
start
help?
first with looking at the chat. Yeah, do you want to kind of read out your question?
Yeah, but actually, Martian already addressed that question, so maybe we can. But of course, we can hear from other panelists. So my question is about I'm thinking of I have a lot of worry about my undergraduate study if I really want to do master degree, but so I want to know, like, does the reputation of the undergraduate study has the significant impact on application to do master? For example, like in Myanmar, like we don't have much public university that has good accreditation. So yeah.
I hope that comes across clearly. If not, I can rephrase it. So she was asking, is the reputation of your undergraduate really affect your application process? Maybe we can have anyone from the panelists to answer this.
Yeah, I can answer this first. Then the others will explain about the qualification in their scholarship. But in my opinion, Australia Awards doesn't really see the qualification of your undergraduate university, but they do have minimum GPA for you to be considered to apply. So at first, you will apply to an application portal, and this portal will automatically, with some algorithm or something, will choose top 100 or top 200, and in that automatic selection, your GPA will be considered. But yeah, I don't think they will really put heavy points on the name of your university or the qualification of your university. What's important to them is how you show that you have an experience in resolving some challenges or issues during your work, or even during your time in your communities or your undergraduate studies. And what they would like to see is, do you have a potential to affect positively in your country's development in the future? Yeah, so that's the heavy points that they will consider.
Thank you for the answer, Jessica. Maybe we are moving to Hema, please. You can raise your, you can.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have typed my question in the chat box. So basically, I wanted to know if I am newly in a role. For example, I'm actually a pharmacist, and previously I was working in a hospital setting, and now I have moved to a pharmaceutical manufacturing setting, whereby I would like to pursue something within the pharmaceutical setting. But having said that, because I have not been in the role long enough, would this impact my application in any way? Or yeah, so if like previously what Jessica said was, for as long as you can prove your leadership, it doesn't matter what kind of role you have been in, right? So yeah, if any of you can answer my question.
I think I can take this question.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So for chevening, basically I just go by the rule of two. So what they want is 2-to-1 honors, which is upper second class honors. That's one. So it doesn't matter which university you are from. So I think that answers the previous question. And secondly, as long as you can prove you have 2 years of working experience, then it's fine. Because in the portal, I think there's a calculation. It's like you have to show them how many years you have worked, and they calculate for you. It's like weekly how long you work or something like that. If I'm not mistaken, that's how they do it. Like that was in 2020. So even volunteer work is considered as work. So as long as you have a total of 2 years, then it's fine. It's just that perhaps it's a bit difficult for you to justify in your essays how your current work is suitable for your for the master's program you're going to apply. But then as long as you have a recent leadership example, it should be okay. It doesn't have to be from your current workplace. Yeah, so if this recent, as long as it's not like from your school years or
Yeah.
from, yeah, so that's fine. And the third rule for the rule of two is you have to come back to Malaysia for, to your country for at least 2 years to contribute. So those are the three rule of two chevening has. So I don't think it matters how many years you're working in your current job. It's fine. As long as you can justify why you, with your career vision, and also studying in the UK, you just have to relate those two together.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Raiyeesha. I also have another question. Perhaps you can also help to answer. Like, what was the experience of you like answering the question of fostering relationships with the UK, for example? Like, how do we tackle this question?
I think the fostering relationship, but it differs yearly. It's slightly different. Like mine, it was just about studying in the UK and what you want to do in the UK. So basically, I lined out my 3 choices of the university choices, and how each university differs from each other, and how does it affect my career pathway. Like for example, Oxford Brookes University, it has a center for nutrition, research for nutrition. So that's what I wanted to bring back to my country. Basically, evidence-based nutrition practices for the patients I see. So that's one of the selling point I put in. And I think based on that, they will ask during the interview, it's like, what else beside academic you want to do in the UK? So don't just be very academically focused. So you can say you want to see the Harry Potter world, or you want to go visit, Beckham, for example. All those things actually catches them. They don't want us to be very academically focused also. So that one is for the interview lah. But for the fostering relationship, it really depends from year to year. I'm not sure what is the question this year. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Most welcome.
Maybe we can move on to Andrea, but she also asked almost a similar question: how to find a suitable university and course effectively. Maybe Dr. Su can answer that.
Yes, thanks for the question. So which university is suitable and which course and how to look for the suitable course. It's only like, I think it mainly depend on your passion. So firstly, you have to know like which area you want to specialize yourself. It's not just about studying in foreign countries. It's about exploring and networking with new people in the area of the professional field. So you have to think like, what's your passionate doing this thing? It's not just like going to the other country, getting the funding to study the master degree. So what would you do to give the positive impact out of this study? So they are not just giving the scholarship just to like make you have a master degree. It's like they are investing their money for your country. So you are representing your country. So that's why like you need to like know firstly that what's your passion. And then like choosing the university depends on the course you want to study. So you have to look for the course, like maybe sometimes like the course title might be a little bit different to each other university. So like for my course, like some university, they call it's just like the clinical physiology, clinical exercise science, clinical exercise, but they like, you have to check the module, like whether they provide the same module that you would like to study, not just only the course title. And then for the ranking, this is my only personal opinion. Don't go for the like university like overall ranking. Just make sure that like you have to check the subject ranking according to your university. So for me, like I chose my university, Liverpool John Moores University. It is like overall ranking is not that high, but for the clinical exercise physiology, its ranking is 6 in the UK. So that's why I chose this university. So like depending on the subject you chose, the subject ranking is what matters for you. Sometimes like people goes for the high ranking university, but they chose the subject which is not like high ranking in that university. So that's totally nonsense. That's my opinion. Yeah. So did I answer your question and you happy about my answer? Thank you.
For me, I think, can you give more information on how to check the subject ranking?
Sorry?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello,
Yes.
can you hear me? Of course. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Like, I just like want to know that like, is that like so for some scholarship, like they just ask to choose our university. We just have to apply first to our university, right? So so like how you guys like normally research the university? It just go to the Google and just go to this check like which is the ranking, which is the are they like provide any like a good in like research or good in like how can I say, like something like this, like it's just choosing the institution is like normally we can do on like Google or something like this, like rather than this like what we can do about that, yeah.
So I think
Yeah,
I will
that's it.
answer this question. Yes. So the thing is that like to check the university for my scholarship, that you can firstly check which universities are offering the scholarship for you. So you have to go to the website of British Council Scholarship for Women in STEM and then check the university they offer for the specific region, because like they have like very different university offerings for a scholarship for different regions. So you have to check first, and then like you choose the university and you check the ranking of the university and subject through Google. So yeah, that's how like I did myself. And also another thing what you can do is just talk to the alumni. If you know someone like who study in that university before, you can check with them like how about the university life there. And also even you can get in touch with the international admission thing. You can directly email them, can you please do me the like virtual tour to the university? That is really easy, and they can just give you a call and you can do the virtual touring in the university so that you can check the surrounding that you would, whether it is suitable for you to study. So that's how I did when I choosing my university. Thank you.
Thank you for all of the questions as well as the insightful answers from all of our panelists. So what an enlightening session that we have. I mean, There were so many scholarships and insightful answers, and maybe our session just then was not enough to cover everything. But I'm sure that many of us are here are living with a clearer path forward in our postgraduate pursuits. That's why we hope that after this session we can move, have a one step forward, even though everything, I mean, it can be anything after this session ends. So here, it's not the end of our session today, but I want to thank from Lead With Her and for all of the panelists and all of the participants. We can move to so after this we are going to have like a mingle session. And if any one of you want to stay, we have an optional, this is optional. So if you want to stay and interact with our speakers, so you can stay, and it's a great opportunity to network with everyone, perhaps to get some of one-on-one advice. So enjoy the mingle session, and thank you and good luck for your endeavor. Let's strive for the scholarship together. Me from Lead With Her. End the session now. Let's get to the mingle session.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you.
Feel free to leave if you want to stay
Bye,
on.
everyone.
We also have an email from
Nice to meet you.
So how do we do this mingle session?
So if
Hello.
anyone has any question, just please go ahead and shoot your questions up.
I think I'm afraid that we can ask our speakers if they're able to stay. For example, like Sue, you might have to get back to your work, or
Yes.
we really understand that. Yeah.
So I might take like if any one of you has questions, I can take 1 to 2 questions and then I can leave. And if there is no question, I would leave. So,
Also share Sue's contact afterwards with everyone. So if you want to personally reach out to her, you can do so as well.
That's good.
Dr. Su, I do want to get in touch with you personally. If you don't mind
Yes.
sharing your number, I think
yes. Yes, of course I can.
I know perhaps.
I'll pass it over to you, Raiyeesha.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you. So we can connect, and I think I can talk to you. We can manage to have a call and do some collaboration in Southeast Asia.
Sure. It's wonderful. I think we have the same vision and passion. So it's nice to meet you here. Thank
Nice
you
to
for
meet you too.
connecting us. I knew, and
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
So yes, so I think I'm leaving. So yeah, it's good to see everyone, and thank you, Lead With Her and Belle for inviting me. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. See you.
See ya.
Thank you, everyone.
Does anyone else have any questions?
I think it'd be great if we can ask the interest, like for maybe, let's say, if you're interested in CHEVENING scholarship, applying for CHEVENING scholarship, that's good to kind of like connect to the one of our speakers. It would be very insightful and also in depth with their answer as well. So can we do a quick survey of our participants to kind of like in the chat box, which scholarship that you would look up to and want to apply? That would be a quick check on this. If we can do that, I knew.
Yeah, sure.
Or we just listen, but we not decided yet. I mean, I understand that, but kind of like just check the interest though, you know. Afi, what about you? I think we can get started with you.
Sorry?
Your preference, your scholarship that you would look up to and want to apply.
So basically, I try to anything that can help me to get scholarship. I will try everything.
I love Australian awards and also CHEVENING. I did start my application CHEVENING. So Dr. Raiyeesha, that's something that I really need to ask you. But and also I knew as well since you're also the recipient. But maybe later on. Sheen, your Fulbright seems to be very challenging. I think we can understand that from your compared to the rest of the awards. what could be your challenges during the application, or maybe during the interview, or can you share us one of the challenging moment? Maybe I would love to know a bit more from Shin, since you're very early in the morning right there.
Yeah. So the challenge is for me, what I can say is that writing essays, it's only 2 essays, but there is no word limitation, so we don't know which is the minimum word we have to write or maximum word we have to write. That's pretty challenging. And then the second thing is like, it says study of purpose, so my purpose is, to bring peace to my country, but I don't know how to convey that. And so my subject is very challenging because peace is very broad and subjective. So to convey the idea of what I want to do in the essay is very challenging, and I have to discuss a lot with my American friend because we are like we don't know what to do, and I don't know what to do because peace is so much yeah broad. So it is the writing essays, and then interview also. When the interviewer asks me specifically what my projects are, it's super challenging because to stop a war is not possible from one person. So yes, these are challenging, but once you pass the interview, you're good. You're good because TOEFL, getting high marks TOEFL as soon so they pay for money, right? So since you pass a scholarship, you don't need to worry about like getting a high mark in TOEFL, because if you don't get a high marks, you have to take the tests. Yes, like that. So it's pretty
We
challenging.
have a question from Anissa. Anissa, maybe you want to ask your question?
Yes. Did you hear my voice?
Yes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. I want to ask regarding the recommendation letter. If one of the requirements for the scholarship that you apply for is a recommendation letter, are there specific qualities or characteristic you look for in the recommenders, and how did you make this choice? That's all my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Open to anyone who wants to answer it from the panelists.
Maybe you want to have a request on specific that you already
No, I think everyone can. No, no, I
Like,
think everyone can answer this. Perhaps. Yeah.
okay, I think I'll take it. So for chevening, the recommendation letter can come later. You just have to put in 2 of your references in the portal during the application itself. For me, I think personally, I would go for someone who really knows me and someone who knows what kind of project I have done in the hospital. So it was my direct bosses, like my deputy dean of the hospital, and also my head of department, basically. So I think it's very important to choose someone who would vouch for what you have done, and write something which would definitely get you like basically support your application. So don't go for like your early academic professors or anything. Like for chevening, they want someone from your workplace. Yeah.
And I can add a little bit about Australian awards. So they provide 2 kinds of scholarship. First for a master degree, and the second one for a PhD. For a master degree, they did not require you to submit a recommendation letter, but you can. But for the PhD, you need to submit a recommendation letter from your previous thesis supervisor. So same like Raiyeesha, I recommend that you search for someone who really knows you and can attest to your best qualities.
Okay. Thank you so much for the answer. I forget to introduce myself. I'm Anissa from Indonesia. Thank you so much, Miss Raiyeesha and Jessica.
You're
Thanks,
welcome,
Miss.
Anissa.
Most welcome. Jessica, may I just ask, sorry, Australian award scholarship is not available for Malaysia, is it?
I don't know. I haven't checked.
Okay,
But
all right.
yeah, I think they only available for about 10 or 13 countries.
And it's like each time they are how many scholars do they take in?
It's different each year. So I only know in Indonesia. So in 2020, it's either 2021 or 2022, they only take 50 people. And I think it's related to COVID. But this year they start to increase their quota again. And in my intake, they take 197 Indonesians.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So I guess it depends on their need as well, right? Because I think they need more. Does Australian AAS require you to come back to your country?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Same
okay,
as
okay.
Chevening, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Got
but I think it's based on their interest too. For example, maybe if the government changes, they have different interests and it can affect the number of the scholarship that they give or the list of countries.
I see. Okay. All right. Got it. Thank you.
And if I was not mistaken as well, right? The master study in the US is different from the UK. It's 2 years, isn't it?
Is it a question for Shin?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes. Yes, it's 2 years.
So I think for everyone here, you have to kind of know the difference between each country requirement for master study. If you want to do it in the UK, it's 1 year. US is 2 years, and Australia is 1 year.
Yes, for the US, you can apply 1-year programs. Also, I applied 2 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe Sarah, do you want to ask a question next? If Sarah is still here. Yes. Sarah, do you want to ask a question?
If not, I will ask.
I can read it out loud for you. How do you decide on your dissertation topic? This is an advanced question.
Yeah. So I haven't studied yet, so I cannot answer this.
You mean once we get enrolled in the program, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. Like for CHEVENING, I think it depends on your university. Like for us, we had a choice of choosing our supervisors, and each of our supervisors had their own specialty. So after choosing your supervisor, then you can suggest some topics to them, or they will suggest a topic to you. But like my university, I think because the dissertation, I think it was only like it was the last semester, and we had only like 4 to 5 months for the whole dissertation journey. So my supervisor actually gave us a topic to do, and it was easier that way because 1 year is very intensive. I would suggest you don't do anything hi-fi for CHEVENING at least, because it's 1 year. You want to travel, you want to do your studies as well. So make sure you don't do something not too intense lah. If not, I don't think you would be able to enjoy the other things the UK has to offer. That's my tip.
And also, if I can add in, if you're applying for Oxford and Cambridge, certain courses actually require you to have your dissertation topic ready during the application itself. So the requirement is a bit more different. And because acceptance rate is lower as well, so they want the best out of the best. So you need to come in prepared before you even begin your journey. Anyone else?
Thank you
One
for
of
asking for
the
me.
top choice.
Sorry, what was your master's program again?
I want to do a master's in special and inclusive education.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
wonderful. Okay, Oxford Brookes, I think they have like certain subjects which are really ranked very high in their university. I'm not sure about I'm in the special needs and inclusive studies, but I know my friend who did it in UCL, and I think she's
Oh my
doing quite, yeah.
How do I like connect with your friend? Was she a CHEVENING scholar in your batch as well?
Yeah, Salwa Muhammad Saleh, if you know.
No, unfortunately, but I will for sure.
Okay, I'll just type her name here. Perhaps you can just connect with her in Instagram first.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
she's quite friendly. Yeah.
And thank you for sharing. You're so passionate. I'm like, wow, so inspired.
Oh, thank you. Anything to pay forward, lah, basically. So Oxford Brookes, I think one thing about Oxford life itself, right? I got to see like two very different lives. One is the Oxford University punya life, and the Oxford Brookes people punya life. It's like Oxford University is like how do I put it? It's very elitist, one thing, and it seems nice to be in that society, but then I don't think you have a freedom to be yourself. It's very it's like Harry Potter lah. They have their own ceremony thing. It's nice to have that, but I think I've grown up a little bit more out of that lah. But another thing about Oxford itself, they have like very good mentorship. They have tutorials. So and definitely the name lah. So it's nice. It's nice to be there for all those things, and also the architecture itself. Like half of I think 90%, no, 80% of Oxford is Oxford University. So that's the thing. But Oxford Brookes was like the total opposite, where you can totally be yourself, enjoy. And I was actually in the undergraduate hostel. So it was a lot of, despite it was COVID, it was a lot of parties, late nights.
Wow.
It was not good for me as a postgraduate, because they couldn't go out. They would actually party outside of my room. They would just, because that's the common area there. So in that sense, they're very lively these people.
I see. I read up that Oxford Brookes is more vocational in a sense. Like it's more laid back because it cannot compete with Oxford with its university ranking. So it's more hands-on and more practical.
Yes, I would say that also. Like for my nutrition course itself, despite COVID, we got to go in. We have to go into the kitchen for we have to do some nutrition recipes and all those things. So despite COVID, we were allowed to go in. And Oxford Brookes is famous for its architecture courses and also motorsport courses. So I had the chance to actually mingle with these students, and I think they had a very good hands-on practices, especially the architecture students. They are always working late night in their studio, and the motorsports, they have like outside exposure. They get to go do practical in I think it's in Bicester, if I'm not mistaken, because their motorsport industry is very nearby to Oxford. So in that sense, yes, definitely.
All right, thank you so much.
I'm not sure about special education.
No, it's all right. I will do more research on that, and I will connect with Salwa, was it?
Yeah, correct. I'll put her name here.
All right, thank you so much.
Most welcome.
to ask any question?
Actually, I want to ask about the networking essay for Raiyeesha, Dr. Raiyeesha. So when we have like several kinds of let's say that experience that we can maybe brag about our connections, like which one do you think like should we prioritize? And what kind of, I mean, other than is there, I mean, the point is that how much the connections, I mean, how much the network that we I mean involved in that project, let's say, or the impact of the network itself, like which one?
Yeah, I think it's the impact of the network itself. And you try to relate it to each of your essays, at least the first three essays, your leadership, network, and your career advancement. You try to link these together. Like, how did your network actually help with your leadership example, and what kind of impact it gave? And how will your current network help with your career choice in the future? Or you can also approach it in a different way, whereby you can use one paragraph for your current networking experience. The other paragraph you can write about how will you use your network from the UK to further your career vision or to impact the nation building.
So it's not how much networking in the project itself, not the quantity of the networks in that project.
I think it's not about the quantity, it's about the type of stakeholders, and how each of them how your influence was with them, and how was their influence to you. It's the impact lah, basically. I don't think it's the quantity.
I see.
Like for me, I look at it this way. It's like mine, it's like it's my immediate because I was the head of traditional and complementary medicine. So it was my immediate people around me, which are my patients. And then networking with my other departments, multidisciplinary networking, because that takes a lot as well. Putting out my project to them, and then how did I bring it up to my deputy dean and my head of department to get extra budget for that particular project, and then expanding it to Ministry of Health level. It's like how am I visioning to bring it up to the Ministry of Health, and using this project for nation building purpose. That's how I look at it.
I see. Thank you so much for the insights. I'm taking notes.
Okay. I hope it really helps. All the best out there.
Thank you. Anyone wants to ask any question?
Can I ask one Fulbright though? Sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, of course.
Because I've gone through Fulbright, the website itself. I feel like the process itself is, the process itself is very taxing, going through the applications. Can you just tell me how was your process like for each of it?
Fulbright. So the first thing is I apply is write essays and send the email, and then I got an interview. But before interview in my country, there is a pre-test, English pre-test. It also depends on how much you get. If you can get much high points, it's good. But there are some Fulbrighters who did not actually get high points but still got the scholarship. So after the pre-test, we take interview, and then after that we take TOEFL test. So the important thing is you have to do good on your essays and the interview. That's it. And after the interview you pass, so after that you can search online for the universities, and then you can apply. But it also depends on getting a university you want. It also depends on the funding of the Fulbright. I want to get the John Hopkins or American University in the East Coast, but they are pretty much expensive in here. So the Fulbright offered me to go to the West Coast University of San Diego. it's also pretty much expensive, but the University of San Diego offers tuition fee. That's how I got the university. So yes, the steps I think will be different between the countries.
Okay, so did you have to apply through a portal as well?
No. For the university, yes, but for the Fulbright scholarship, I just sent the email. Yes, email. But yes, email. Only after you
Any
pass the.
any documents are needed, like your maybe your
yes.
transcript or something like that? Many
Yes,
documents? Or
yeah, so in one PDF we have to include transcripts, recommendation letter, essays, and then the degree.
okay. The degree meaning your choice of university.
No, your bachelor's degree, your master's degree.
Okay.
Proof
Okay.
of you get the degree from this university, like that. Yes.
And it's like different country is like different opening time, is it, for the application?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. It's not the same for all the Southeast Asian countries.
No, no.
Okay. Like evening is like standard. It's like, okay, 7th of August is opening and then 7th November is closing. Usually it's like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much for asking.
Welcome.
Anyone else wants to ask final questions before we close the room? Yes, TOEFL is harder. Someone said that. I feel like TOEFL is harder, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, and in the meantime, if we're still waiting for questions, I also would like to talk to you about one of what I think is one of the advantage of Australia Award Scholarship that many people maybe do not know is we don't need to have a LOA before we apply to the scholarship or after we apply to the scholarship. So we if we want to apply for the Australia Awards, if we get scholarship, they will be the one who process our admission to the university. Yeah, so you don't need to worry about applying independently to the university. However, it doesn't guarantee 100% if you are being awarded scholarship that you will get the first university or major that you choose.
So that means for AAS, it's a different, that means you apply for AAS first and then the universities, or is it concurrent?
Is it what, sorry?
Is it concurrent? You have to apply it together with the AAS award, the universities.
Yeah, so no, we only need to apply to the AAS. Then after we get the scholarship, they will be the one who process our placement in the university.
Oh, so that means we can't choose our universities?
We can. We just send the Australia Awards team our preference. Then they will be the one contacting the university for placing us.
Oh, okay, okay. So we do have to mention which universities earlier on.
Yes.
So is it 3 choices?
2.
2 choices. Okay, all right, got it. Thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
guys, if you don't mind, I have to go. I have a school in 30 minutes.
Thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you, Shin. Nice to
Nice to
meet
meet you.
Sorry, Shin.
It's okay. Bye.
It was nice seeing you guys, networking with
Nice.
you guys. Take care.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I think we're 3 minutes past the closing hours. I will share with you via email later our speakers' contact. Please do connect with them afterwards. And if you have any questions, please just reach out to us via email or add them on their social media. Yeah, thank you so much for your presence and the speakers as well for your time. See you guys.
Thank you
And
for having us.
Thank you.
you.
It was nice meeting you, Jessica.
Can we take a
Nice
quick
to meet you,
picture
Raiyeesha.
with the speaker?
Hope to see you physically in the future.
Inshallah, one day, definitely.
Hopefully.
Can we do a quick screenshot?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Can we wait?
I feel like Sophia wants to say something.
Someone who wants to say something?
Sophia, do you have anything to say? Is it on, off, you know, with the microphone thing?
Okay.
All right, wait, let me just take a quick screenshot.
I feel like we're pressured. Smile, everybody.
Wait,
Why we only have 2 speakers with a screenshot? I can't get my camera on, sorry. Already in bed.
okay, it's fine, fine.
Lazy participant.